Good Friday! Again! I just showed you how to store bagged sauerkraut. This is our old sauerkraut. It's been in the fridge a couple of weeks. Today we're making street vendor hot dogs. There's a trick to it when making it at home. I just watched a video of a guy making New York City hot dogs. His video really was just about making onions. We're not doing onions. You can buy Sabrett hot dog onions in a jar. We're not doing onions. Mustard. We all eat hot dogs differently. I like sauerkraut and mustard. If you're gonna make street vendor hot dogs at home, there's also a little bit of theater. We'll get to that in a second. These are Oscar Mayer classic beef bun-length hot dogs. I'm on a budget. I usually buy these. They're the cheapest at Walmart. I used to buy Sabrett all the time. They're the long ones. You want the long ones, really. You don't have to get the long ones. Either way, though, you need bun length. This guy is making New York City hot dogs. He makes his onions, and then he cooks the hot dogs for 5 minutes. That's where you go wrong. When you buy a hot dog from a street vendor, those hot dogs have been sitting in that liquid for hours, maybe. Certainly a half an hour. Some people call it dirty water. I've read that some people add in onions and spices into that water. It flavors the hot dogs during the day. The most important thing is you want to slightly bring the water up pretty much to a simmer, a little under a simmer, and just let those hot dogs sit. Covered, because the street vendors are covered, and you're going to let them sit for 30 minutes or longer in that water. Not a rolling boil. And because we're trying to recreate the feeling, and because we're trying to recreate New York vendor hot dogs, you got to have a set of tongs. So you need a pair of tongs to pull the hot dogs out, and one set of tongs for the sauerkraut. To recreate the feel of a street vendor hot dog, you need one of these. I'm just saying. Sauerkraut. Here's the thing. Sauerkraut has probiotics. If you want to get the probiotics, you're going to have to use cold sauerkraut. Street vendors don't use cold sauerkraut. We're heating up the sauerkraut. You'll still get the cabbage goodness, but you're probably going to lose the probiotics. I'm sorry. Of course, if you're not comparing hot dogs, you use one pan. But because we're comparing hot dogs, we're going to use our small Farberware and our larger Farberware because those Sabrets are larger. And we'll be using our tall 1.5 quart Farberware for the sauerkraut. Okay. Now we've got a boil here. But once you put the lid on, you've got to check. In you go. Perfect fit for Oscar Mayer. I'm going to put the lid back on. See how we're doing in here. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay. Oh, hot dog out. Hot dog out. And hot dog in. Take the lid. Oh. Recover. At least 30 minutes. See you in 30. Let's get the sauerkraut in. Yeah. All right, we're going to cover that. So about 10 minutes before you're ready to serve, start heating up the sauerkraut. Whew. Ow! Okay. Sabrett. Oscar Mayer. Oscar Mayer. Mustard. Okay. Right from the pot. Yes, it's going to be a little soggy, And that's how you get them in New York. A little bit more. Ta-da! At least it's easy to tell which is which. Let's go for the Oscar Mayer first. You know, Oscar Mayer's been around forever. It's very tender. I personally don't care about snap. It is delicious. And you won't get that if you cook the hot dog for just 5 minutes. I'm just saying. It's hot. It's delicious. Let's go for Sabrett. Now, street hot dogs used to be in the 80s and 90s, it used to extend past the bun. I don't know what they're doing today. Let's take a bite of the Sabrett. More snap, a little bit more chewy. I gotta say, there is more flavor, but I'm not sure I like it more than the Oscar Mayer. Let's take another bite. Sabrett. Huh. As far as my memory for street vendor hot dogs, I gotta say, I think I'm leaning towards the Oscar Mayer. Let's go Oscar Mayer again. Oscar Mayer. The flavor is not overpowering. It's very tender. Probably more tender than it should be, but let's try the Sabrett again. I think I'm going towards the Oscar Mayer. I am. That's very funny. I used to only buy Sabrett years ago. I've been buying Oscar Mayer. They're cheaper. I'm on a budget. If I'm comparing Sabrett to Oscar Mayer, right now I have to go with Oscar Mayer. Throws me a little bit. Yes, the Sabrett has more of a bite. I don't know if that's a good thing. Let's take 2 more end bites and then we'll call it a day. Sabrett. Sabrett. Huh. All right. Final bite, Oscar Mayer, end bite. No matter what hot dog you pick, you gotta cook them longer than 5 minutes. Those vendors have those hot dogs in that liquid, who knows how long before you actually get to it. Oh, one more bite, one more bite, one more bite. I always do that, one more bite and then I eat it. That's delicious. If my eyes were closed, I'd think I was eating a New York vendor hot dog. Thanks for joining me this Friday. You know what I'm gonna say? What am I gonna say? Thanks for watching. Yeah, really. Oscar Mayer for the win.